Hi guys. Visual Films here.
Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm gonna explain a 2019 science fiction and thriller movie called Butt Boy. This movie has a very unique concept and storyline. Make sure to watch it till the end to find out. The story begins with Chip Gutchell, an IT staff in a small corporate company, who seems unhappy with his current job and unhappy with his life. While having dinner with his family, Chip tells his wife that he is going to get his very first prostate exam tomorrow. It seems like their current relationship is not that good. His wife then continues talking to her friend on the phone, leaving and ignoring Chip alone with their baby. Moving on to the next day, Chip meets his doctor. Surprisingly, he begins to feel and discover a new kind of sensation while the doctor is examining him. Since then, Chip's weird habit to stick things up his butt, which he finds unexpectedly pleasurable, begins. The first thing to disappear is a bar of soap, which he finds while having a bath. The next day, even a TV remote control becomes a victim of Chip's bizarre behavior. His wife tries to find the missing remote control, but Chip pretends like he doesn't know anything. Worst thing happens when he is left alone in the house, where the poor Rocky, his own dog, becomes the next victim and disappears. Chip and his wife go to the local park to find the missing Rocky, but as soon as he sees a woman carrying her baby while sitting in the park, suddenly Chip asks his wife to go home and let him do the finding. Can you guys guess what he is going to do? From Chip's facial expression, we can see that he is thinking about shoving humans up to his butt, and later on, he carries out his thinking. A few moments later, several cops come to Chip's house and question him regarding the missing child at the park. Chip plays dumb and tells the cops that he didn't see anything strange at the park. Chip even helps the local community to find the missing child, before self-disgust almost overwhelms him. At some point, he also attempts to commit suicide, but the rope cuts off. The scene jumps forward 9 years, when a local detective named Russell Fox attends an Alcoholics Anonymous or AA group. This group is a recovery support for alcoholic people. There, they gather and share about their problems. As a newcomer, he is linked up with a sponsor who turns out to be Chip himself. Chip and Russell then go for dinner, where Russell shares that he is not married and has no kids. On the other hand, Chip also admits that his marriage is not in a good condition. Even after several years have passed, Chip still cannot escape from his bad habit. While playing Monopoly with his family, he is triggered by a blue plastic cone and can't get it out of his mind. At night, after some hesitation, Chip finally takes that piece and puts it into his butt. On the other side, we discover that Russell became an alcoholic for a reason. He stalks a girl with her husband who seems to be his ex-wife. He even tries to call the girl but receives no answer. Chip's addiction is now out of control as he keeps inserting random stuff, even a big one, into his butt, and he seems to enjoy it very much. He inserts almost everything that is available in his house without having his wife know what he has been doing. At work, Chip's boss wants to conduct a Take Your Child to Work Day, where all the employees of the company bring their kids to work and play together with them. The day comes and Chip's boss asks all the children to play hide and seek, but Chip just keeps working as usual. After doing so well in his previous missions, Russell is assigned to investigate a missing kid in the business district an hour ago. Guess what? Yeah, it's in the company where Chip works. Russell arrives at the office and learns that every camera in that office has been wiped. He starts interviewing the employees one by one until the last one, which turns out to be Chip. Russell suspects Chip to be the culprit as he is the only IT guy who has the capability to edit and remove a surveillance camera's data. Later, we discover that it was really Chip who kidnapped the child by using his superpowered butt and kept the CCTV recording, but he refuses to answer Russell and walks away from the interview. Russell then becomes more suspicious towards Chip as he finds a clue while inspecting his table. After work, Chip's wife discovers that her husband has been joining an AA group all this time, claiming that Chip has been lying all the time. Feeling stressed, Chip decides to go out at night, but it turns out that he goes to adopt a new pet. At the same time, Russell is tailing Chip to find out about his suspicion. He hides inside his car, so that Chip won't spot him. Because of this, he lost sight of Chip. He then roams around to find Chip, and eventually he finds the cage where Chip keeps the adopted pet, but strangely, there's nothing there. There, he also finds something similar to the clue he finds in Chip's office desk. The next day, Russell explains to his superior that Chip is the kidnapper by cramming objects, especially the missing child, up his butt. But his boss doesn't buy the theory, leaving the detective with no choice but to go rogue. After being absent for a week, Chip finally comes back to the AA sharing session. After the sharing session, Chip invites Russell to come over to have dinner at his house. The detective tells Chip's wife that he is pretty close to finding the kidnapper, which makes Chip panic. He tries to change the topic by asking Russell whether he has a girlfriend or not. Before the detective leaves, he suddenly asks Chip to borrow the bathroom. Chip seems panicked because he kept the CCTV recording in the bathroom. Out of nowhere, he starts banging the door, forcing Russell to get out immediately. But fortunately, Russell manages to discover the disc before the door is broken. While driving home, Russell realizes that he has been tailed by Chip. He stops and both of them start fighting. Eventually, the detective wins the fight, but suddenly Chip puts down his pants and starts producing a huge air vortex from his butt, pulling Russell's car. But somehow, Russell manages to start the car and drives away. He immediately goes to his former boss's office to prove his statements before, but sadly, his boss tells him to get lost. At some point, Russell is finally brave enough to visit the girl that was shown in the previous scene, proving that she is indeed his ex-wife that is currently married to a new guy. Later, he sneaks into his former office. There, we also discover that the missing baby at the very first scene of the movie is Russell's. That is why he seems to be so desperate and hopeless throughout the movie. Long story short, to celebrate Chip's son's birthday, Chip invites his family and friends to play Laser Battlefield. Unexpectedly, Russell also joins the battlefield, but with a real gun, aiming his AA sponsor who turns out to be his baby's kidnapper. He manages to shoot Chip in the leg. Feeling cornered, Chip unleashes his ultimate weapon, which is the same huge air vortex from his butt, causing Russell to pass out. Russell wakes up in a very strange and smelly environment. There, he meets Andrew, the missing child who was kidnapped at Chip's office. He states that they are currently at Chip's digestive system, to be exact, rectum. Suddenly, a huge amount of gas is released and it turns out that it is a fart. After that, Russell and Andrew continue exploring Chip's digestive system. They manage to find Rocky, the missing dog, and Russell's missing baby who has grown into a young boy. They also discover all the stuff that Chip shoved up his butt. 1 month later after getting shot, Chip's butt is being examined by a doctor before being released to ensure no internal bleeding occurs. Because of that, Russell manages to find a way out and starts planning a strategy. Chip also gets appreciated by his AA's mates and even gets a promotion at his office, because of Chip's bravery to escape from a life or death situation. Later, Russell's strategy seems to be working as Chip starts to discharge the soap, TV remote control, and even his dog from his butt. To cure his stomachache, Chip drinks a bottle of stomach elixir, but this liquid drops into Andrew's face, leaves burn marks, and a few moments later, he dies. The next day, Chip is invited by Mayor Cage to celebrate his braveness. While giving his speech at the podium, he feels something is wrong with his stomach. Turns out that Russell has been pouring liquid that triggers Chip's digestive system to produce a huge amount of gas. After that, he lights up his lighter, causing Chip to explode and die immediately. In the middle of chaos, Russell and his son manage to survive and Russell hands over the CCTV recording to his shocked boss. At the end of the movie, Russell brings his long-awaited son to the hospital where the kid finally manages to meet his mom again. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.